Looks like we are live here for the Patriot half, prepping for Patriot. And we're just getting started here, so we're gonna wait a few more minutes for people to start coming in. If you are checking in for our event, if you can maybe just write in a comment to say hello so we know you're there. We've got two people there. Okay. So it looks like we have two people. Maybe that's just Jeff and I don't know. Well, there are two people here. Yeah. Hey, Mark. Jeff. Oh, we're up to 4. All right. Here we go.
Like East.
So can you let us know that you can hear us? Maybe someone just write in a comment in the comment box whether you can hear us. Hey, Thomas. There's one of our athletes doing his first half iron. Good to see you.
Hello, Jonathan. Ira, good evening.
Ira, can you hear us okay?
Looks like he's typing top fan status. Ira has.
Hi, Thomas. Great, great. So loud and clear. You can hear us just fine, right?
Thanks, Karen.
Hi, Cheryl. Karen, Thomas, Ira. Good. Jonathan. So we're up to 25 people. That's great. We'll give a couple more minutes for people to show up just to give everyone an opportunity to be here. So we'll get some of the introductions out of the way. I'm Mark Walter with Sun Multisport Events. I am the race director for the Patriot Half. I have been every year of the race, so a lot of history with this event. So I can certainly answer any and all questions, I think, about the race. I'm here with Coach Jeffrey Capobianco from Breakthrough Performance Coaching. He's the head coach at BPC. He also was sort of the mastermind of the training plan for Patriot. I'm sure he got input from his coaches as well. And we're here at the BPC studio in the background. You can see the BPC logo here at the BPC studio in Salem. And what we're going to be doing today or tonight is I will kind of walk through the swim, bike, and run segments of the race, give you some detail information, go into a little depth on the bike course, and then Jeff will do a walkthrough and overview of the training plan. As we make our way through, we welcome any questions you have. So that's the plan. A couple other things while we get another, I think we're at 7:03 here. I think at 7:05 we're going to dig right in. So just a couple other things. Race Mania. Our first event of the year is the Race Mania Summit and Expo. That's coming up at the Boston University Fit Rec Center on March 15th. Great opportunity for endurance athletes in the area to come in and kind of get themselves ready for the season. And one session in particular I think is of great value to anyone that's doing Patriot is a session that will be led by Kristen Lamb of Breakthrough Performance Coaching, making the leap to the going from short to long course is essentially the workshop she's going to lead. So if you're doing your first half Ironman or Ironman, you know that's obviously a big jump from the shorter distance stuff. So making the leap to long distance is what Kristen will be covering. She did it last year, got great reviews, so we brought her back. And so just something to mark on your calendar, March 15th at the Boston University Fit Rec Center. And the other thing I'll highlight is on June 6th, 2 weeks before race day, myself and Jeff and coaches from Breakthrough Performance Coaching will be hosting the Triathlon Skills Training Camp at Cathedral Camp, which is the site of the Patriot Half. So this is a training camp for anyone that's just looking to take their triathlon game to another level, but it is especially valuable, would be especially valuable to anyone doing Patriot because we will do some swimming in August. You'll be swimming in on race day. There will be riding the bike course as well as running the run course. So if you're around, it's a couple of weeks later this year. The weather should be warmer. So that's June 6th. So that concludes our pre-workshop advertisements. So we're going to get right into Meredith. Welcome for joining. Seth, Ruth Ann, Good to see you. We got a nice, looks like we got over 40 people, so that's great. So we're going to get started. So again, I'm Mark Walter, and
I'm Jeffrey Capobianco from Breakthrough Performance Coaching. Happy to join you tonight.
So I'm going to, again, just walk through the course. So I'm going to start with the swim course. So you've got a 1.2 mile swim at the Patriot. This is a one loop course. We will start you, or the first wave will be a mass start of the elite athletes. So we'll get them all in the water on your mark, get set, go, boom, they go. Every other wave will be a time trial start, which will be either 2 or 3 athletes every 5 or 10 seconds. So we know from doing that format for several years, people like kind of having it broken up. So that's the swim start. You'll basically have 2 left turns. You'll swim straight out about half a mile, make a left, go over about 2/10 of a mile, make a left, come straight back to shore. So that's the way that's set up. So there's probably about 11 buoys. I got some feedback last year that there was really, numerous people asked for an additional buoy closer to shore. So that's on the list of improvements for the coming year. And that's pretty much the swim course. I'll pause now and see if there are any questions about the swim. Good to see you, Christoph.
Glad you made it.
Oh, yeah, I see there was a question about rebroadcasting. Yes, I do recognize, not everyone's on Facebook, and I've already had this question come up. I will be, after this, I'll download the video from this live Facebook event, and I'll probably upload it to either YouTube or the Patriot page of the Sun Multisport Events site. So we will make it available for people on demand if you miss it tonight, or someone that can't make it, or someone not on Facebook. Question about the water. Yes, the race is typically wetsuit legal. We've never not had it be wetsuit legal. Typically, water temperatures are, high 60s, mid 60s to low 70s. And we've been pretty fortunate over the years. Oftentimes, the water is very calm, almost like a pool. That's not always the case. We've had a couple of years where there's a little more chop, but honestly, we've had some pretty amazing days over the years. So that's that case. Yes, so always, historically, always been wetsuit legal, and in the, kind of mid to upper 60s, low 70s. The temp cutoff for wetsuits is 79. That's when it is no longer wetsuit legal, and then it's 80. Should know this. And then it's like in the 80s where nobody's allowed to wear a wetsuit, but that is not expected to be the case. All right, I think we've got our the geese. Yes, there have been geese. Geese congregate at the park. We do rake up a lot of that to the best of our abilities. Duly noted, Christoph. We'll see what else we can do to clean that up on the goose poop. This is what he's referring to. So that is that. What else? It is a rolling start for the swim, Patty. It is again, the first wave is an all-at-once start, and that's the elite wave, elite athletes. Wave after that will be started with 2 or 3 athletes every 5 to 10 seconds. We kind of usually, I'll look at that as we get closer to the event, but it will most definitely be a time trial rolling start. And absolutely, there will be lifeguards on boats. We typically have about 20 to 25 lifeguards in the water, in addition to other watercraft supporting the swim. So we'll have EMTs and our swim coordinator and other support on the water. It is, I should know the depth of, at the deepest point, but I don't know that offhand. So I don't want to guess exactly what the depth is, but I will, go through these comments post-event, and certainly any questions unanswered like that, we'll get answers for you.
Yeah, and I guess the real point is you can't stand up once you leave shore. It is definitely deep enough that you cannot touch bottom.
Correct, right.
But you can, if you need to, hang on a kayak or a surfboard or something out there, as long as you're not making forward progress for essentially almost as long as you want, as long as you're within the time cutoff.
Exactly. All the lifeguards are used to that. So if you wave over to a lifeguard, well, wave a lifeguard over to you, they will all, just about all of them will be in kayaks or stand-up boards. Yes, you are absolutely allowed to rest on one of them. They just can't, as Jeff mentioned, propel you, move you forward. What is the best place to stay on Friday night? So if you're coming from out of town looking for a place to stay, the Patriot page of the Sun Multisport site does have a section of hotels. We've got 3 hotels listed there. I actually got contacted by another one today, so that we'll be adding a 4th option. So there are multiple hotels, all within, I'd say, 15 miles. So none are, right outside the door or, just outside the start, but they're all within 15 miles. And they're all generally reasonably priced in that like 150 to 190 price range, I'd say.
And then we do have wetsuit strips. As you come out of the water, one of my favorite jobs is to be there to greet swimmers as they come out of the water. We'll have a team of wetsuit strippers there. So if you can, just get your suit, if you're wearing a full suit, get it unzipped and down to your waist. If you can pull your arms out, that's super helpful. And then just come up to us, sit down on your butt. We will grab your suit and rip it off of you and hand it back to you, and you can head into T2 or T1 where we're headed now.
Yeah. And if you go on this Sun Multisport Events Facebook page, if you click the videos section, I've got 1 or 2 videos of wetsuit strippers in action at past Patriots. So if you kind of want to visualize what that scene looks like, and it's pretty crazy, a lot of energy, a lot of fun, the music's playing, everyone's psyched to be over to have the swim over. So take a look at that to get a good look at it.
I think we're going to have a new course record set this year.
Yeah.
Given that we've got a new course.
Right on it was probably good. The course record, Matthew, I don't know that offhand. That would be, but we do have all the past results from the event posted. The first year we did the event, we got thrown a curveball, and the bike course was 60 miles. I think we then got it down to 58 and then 56. The new bike course is a hair under 56. So, this is certainly a year that I think that whatever the record is could be broken. So that's probably a good way to segue into the bike course. So the bike course after, again, the first year we had 60 and then we made some changes, but probably for the last, 12 years of the race, I don't think there's been a single change. It's been a 2-loop course. Well, we had to make some changes this year. For those of you that have done the race in the past, you probably observed over time, some of the road conditions had gotten kind of choppy. And that was really the main driver for the change that we made. So I actually did bring here this course map. This is right on the website. So this is not, secret information. It's right on the course details section of the website. So I'm going to basically walk you through the course. So it starts here at Cathedral Camp. You're going to come through here. You're going to cut through the Dunkin' Donuts, as has been a trademark of this event in the beginning. And here's where it then sort of diverts. So historically, then you went out this way. You're going to come up here at County Road, cut up on Highland Avenue. There's some climbing in through here, and then you have a nice downhill. This then reconnects with the past Patriot course. So you're now coming down Route 105. Through here, you make a left onto Long Point Road, takes you through the Paksha Pond Causeway. So that is one of the most scenic sections of the course. I really wanted to make sure we kept that in there. So that's in there. And then you're going to come to here. So through here to here, pretty much to here is all from last year's course. We then are going to continue on further into Middleborough, out to Route 28, and then come all the way down here into Rochester to here, where there's going to be this decision point, because you're going to be in 2 loops. At this point, on the first loop, you're going to go right and continue up, reconnect with this section, do this all again, come back around, get to this decision point again, and go left. then that's going to bring you back home. This section, for those of you who have done the Cranberry Tri-Fest Olympic, is part of the Cranberry course. So this is a key spot. And let me just tell you, we're going to have multiple volunteers there, lots of signage, because the last one we want to have happen is someone to not, to either go and start doing this a second time when they don't need to, or a third time, I should say, or to kind of cut the course and go left initially. So this is something that, we also want athletes participating to be cognizant of. So it's basically right around the 28-mile mark is the first time you're going to come to this section, and then it's at the 49-mile mark where you come through it again. So again, we will have a lot of signage. I'm going to put my loudest guy on my team there, bellowing to, right for second loop, left to finish. But that's the kind of thing that you want to make yourself familiar with. There is a cue sheet on the website along with this. So, as the weather warms up or even sooner, you can go out there and you can ride it and you can see exactly where this location is. You can't tell from the detail of this map, but the road kind of forks, which kind of helps make it kind of obvious that, hey, there's a decision to be made here. So that's the deal. I think overall, the course road conditions are better. I also think it's a little safer. For a few reasons. One of the, I guess I'd say, downsides of this is you only go through past the camp once. So historically, we did 2 loops, so that allowed people or spectators to see cyclists come by while they were finishing their first loop and then go around and come back. So that's eliminated, which is unfortunate. But it's always got a little hairy in front of the camp there, so I'll be honest, I'm not necessarily all that, bummed out about that. I think, again, road conditions are much better. It's a very scenic ride, and I think you're going to love it. There will be also, I should note, again, the course profile is with the cue sheet, which is downloadable on the website. I actually have a comparison of the course profiles, this year's course versus last year's. The difference is like 150 feet of less climbing. So it's actually a little faster course. So I think you'll like that. We will have multiple bottle exchange stations on the course, at least 3. My goal is to have 4. And we're still going to, haven't figured out exactly where those are going to be, but our goal is to have those nicely spread out along the course. So there will be Gatorade and water at those bottle exchange stations. Every turn, our goal is to have volunteers and sign at every turn. Lots of police details helping to control traffic. This is an open course, so it's not like, you can just sort of put your head down and not pay attention. Cars pull out of their driveway, motorists, cars are on the road. So you always want to be aware of those kinds of things. But we'll have plenty of signage out there making where to turn. We also have signage out there alerting cars on the road that there is a race in progress. I just talked a lot, so I'm going to pause. I'm sure I missed some things, but I don't know if you want to have anything to add, Jack.
I just had a question about that merge where mile 12 is coming in and 33 is going by. How's that going to work?
Yeah, so there will be some merging going on. What is helpful is the riders that will be entering the loop here, the overlap is going to be pretty limited. Where is it? Here? Yeah, so there will be some people coming up on mile 12 as people are coming up on mile 33, which is here. This is an uphill. So the riders coming here are going to be moving pretty slowly. There will be a police detail there, but clearly, yes, there will be a merge. We'll have signage for cyclists coming, this way, saying, hey, merge ahead, to make them aware. This section is pretty flat, so I think the cyclists coming here are probably going to be, most of them will be moving at a good clip, especially those that are already at mile 33. But the riders here, again, you're coming up the hill at this point. So I think that will help, make that merge easier to navigate.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep. Yes, Jackie, less elevation. And Christoph, yes, flatter. What is car traffic typically like? I mean, that's kind of, I'm not riding the course on race day. I would recommend probably talking to some, athletes, but, it varies. I think, we are obviously starting early on a Saturday morning, but, there are people out there trying to, do their Saturday chores. So, it is these are rural communities, which helps from a car traffic standpoint. But I think you're probably best off talking to some other athletes that have sort of been out there and kind of get their perspective.
Yeah, I will say I've raced it a number of times and I've never found traffic to be a problem. Everyone has been very accommodating and has given plenty of room. It's never been an issue for me.
Okay. How do drafting rules apply at the merge? I mean, they're still just the same. I think any official would recognize that there's merging going on. So if you're maybe in the zone for too long, I don't think they're going to be penalizing you at that point. And again, I think what's the more likely scenario is the bikes that are sort of entering that loop, which are going to be more in the back of the pack, are more likely to be going slower, again, because they're at the back of the pack and they're also going up a hill. So I think I'm not overly concerned, but clearly it's something that we're going to be paying a lot of attention to. And again, through signage and volunteers to make sure that goes as smoothly as possible.
Yeah, having been an official bike marshal, I can tell you that if you've got cyclists coming fast past, most likely those will be the elites at that point, merging with age groupers that have gotten in the water later. My guess is if the age groupers are coming up the hill, they're going to be going significantly slower than the athletes coming by, and there will never be anyone in a draft zone for greater than 25 seconds. So I think it'd be really a non-issue. But really, for me, it would be the safety issue of just being mindful as either going past someone or merging into that group.
Yeah, one of the other things that we're looking at is, is potentially essentially creating a coned lane for the riders that are coming up to kind of to have a cone line separating essentially the riders that are coming up on that mile 33 with those that are turning left or coming up to it and then turning left into it. That's another option. But we got to work with the towns on that. Erica, you asked about car support. I'm guessing you mean like tech support. We typically have two vans or sag wagons, whatever you want to call them, from local bike shops providing on-course tech support. And then my bike coordinator is also pretty handy with a wrench and carries a set of tools. So essentially we have three resources on the course for assisting with flats. But, it's kind of a crapshoot, where they are if and when you have an issue. So we certainly always encourage people to be ready to handle their own, tire flats or, minor issues to the best of their abilities, because you just don't know it when if you have an issue at mile 12, they may have just come through there and, they're just circulating the course. So we do kind of give them zones to circulate so that they're not kind of on top of each other. But again, it's a little bit of a luck of the draw where they are when you have problems. I've had people tell me, oh, they were right there. That person was lucky. I've had other people say, oh, I had to wait around 20 minutes. They weren't. So it really depends. So I guess I'll move on to the run course. The run course is 13.1 miles, half marathon. It's a single loop, a counterclockwise loop. I was thrilled for this being our 17th year of the Patriot. We have the same group on board to handle all the aid stations on the run course. We typically have 12 or 11. Our goal is always to have 12, so essentially one at every mile. So that will be the plan going in. Those aid stations, all aid stations will have water, Gatorade, and ice. And then we typically have at alternating aid stations, oranges, pretzels, a sodium, like an Endurolite or a base salt, as well as bananas. That tends to be what we put out on the course for people looking for little, and gels, Cliff gels, that need nutrition while they're out there. And yeah, again, we'll have police to control the intersections, volunteers to help guide you, signage to help guide you, and it's relatively flat, not a lot of shade. It can be a sunny course at times, especially later in the day, and I'd say probably the worst hill is the last one. That's probably about a half mile from camp. It's kind of steep, but pretty short. So yeah, that to look forward to. Any questions about the run? I see Brenda, is there a location where people chat about riding the course in May? I think that's probably a lot of people ride the course in the spring. I mean, I think if you were to show up on a Saturday, as we get closer, to race day, you'll find people there. But if you're looking to, coordinate that, I would just, maybe reach out to some local clubs maybe to see if you know any that are going, or if you have friends racing, just, sign up with them, or even if they're not racing, maybe they've done it. But there are no other, formally organized rides of the course other than the training camp. Yes, Roger, Sully will be coordinating the bike this year. They're going to have Joe out there too, at that merge point. He's the loudest guy on the team, so I think he's the right guy to be there. Bathrooms on the course, good question. Yes, there will be porta-johns on the bike course at the bottle exchange station, so that's a given. And we usually have about 5 porta-johns on the run course, including some not including some that are going to be just outside transition. And they're basically evenly spread out where there are some nice wide shoulders and grassy knolls to put porta-johns on. So yes, there's about 5 out on the course that you'll see as you go along. The athlete guide that you'll get the week of the event will have very specific details on exactly what mile markers those are at. Thomas, yes, we could use volunteers on Friday, but you're racing the next day, so we don't want to tax you too much. But if you want to maybe help out registration or something, that would be an easy one. We'll just have you off your feet. Thank you. Packet pickup. So packet pickup will be on Friday, the night before the event, 4 to 7 p.m., and then the morning of the event starting at 5 a.m. Race start is 7 a.m., so you got to have it done by 7 a.m. We will also have a packet pickup midweek, the week of the event, somewhere in the Boston or greater Boston area, location to be determined, but that's usually Wednesday before the race. So for those in and around, either live or work in and around Boston, we're going to try to we will have a midweek option for you to get your packet as well. Cheryl, the Bay State group that Susan was referring to is the Bay State Triathlon team. Great group based on the South Shore. They have been awesome supporters of this race for many years. They pretty much bring all the volunteers for transition. Great group of people to get to know. And as Susan said, they do rides down there quite a bit. So maybe here's a good time to turn over to Jeff and kind of give you a little overview of the training plan.
Okay. So we created a training plan that's up on Training Peaks. If you don't have a link to it already or you're not using it, we can certainly provide you with one. What we're looking to do here, this plan was designed with the beginner in mind, and it's really to get you successfully to the finish line. Know that none of it is written in stone, so if you didn't start back in February, 20 weeks out when we started this plan, You can pick it up at any time. We've created it to be a dynamic plan, so you can start it at any time. If we want to create videos to share with you or some motivational things, we'll do that along the way. So look for those to pop up on your calendar. We started you back 20 weeks out with just under 5 hours of work for volume per week. We're going to work up till just over 10 hours about 4 weeks out or so. So again, if you're picking things up and you see an hour and a half or an hour and 40 run on your schedule and you can't complete that all in one block, there's no reason you can't split that up and do half of it in the morning, half of it in the evening, or an hour of it or an hour and a half of it in the morning, and then just finish up the other portion in the evening, whether if you're time crunched or you think it's going to put you in too big of a hole the next day. So know that it's merely a guide to get you to that finish line. If you ever have any questions about anything in it, please don't hesitate to reach out. We wrote it for you. We're here for you along the way. And so we want you to reach out. We want those questions. Also know that we're sort of starting with 2, 2, and 2, 2 bikes, 2 swims, 2 runs. Yes, there's a small little run off the bike that we're not really counting quite yet. By the time March hits, we hit a 3rd bike. That run off the bike gets a little bit longer, and we're really at 2 swims, 3 bikes, and 3 runs, including that run off the bike. And again, if you need more work on your swim and you want to add in or replace one of those sessions with a swim, certainly feel free. And if you have any questions about how to make all of that work, again, feel free to reach out. So I'm happy to answer any questions now about the training plan, or answer those via email, or I can answer them in this chat later on. If you think of something tomorrow and you want to throw it up here, we'll be monitoring this for the next couple of days.
I saw someone was asking, I think Karen, about or Meredith, about the link to the training plan. So yes, that was sent out in an email previously. So you should have that in one of the emails from info@sunmultisportevents.com. If you also go to the Patriot Half 2020 event page off of this Facebook page, I know we posted it there as well. I actually need to check to see that it should be on the Patriot page of the website, but I know I previously had it up at the top of the page, but I have right there now, a link to this page for this event. So I can make sure I can put it there as well. But for sure, it was in an email, and it was also it's also in that event page feed for the Patriot Half on Facebook. Any other questions? So again, what we will be, while you think about that, we will make this available on demand. It'll sort of sit in the archives on this Facebook page so all of you who've gotten to it here won't have any problem finding it, but I will also be posting a link to it on the Patriot page of the Sun Multisport site. Probably Jeff can put it up on the BPC site as well.
Yeah, I'll put it in the comments here.
Great. And what else? All right. Go Susan. Looks like Susan Clavin of the Bay State Tri team is going to put together a little group on training for Patriot. That's great. Susan, thank you. Groups that practice the run route. There too, Mary, I would bet Susan might be able to help you out there too. So any closing thoughts, Jeff?
I would say come to Race Mania.
Yeah.
That's my thought. stop by. I'll be chained to the bike time trial all day, but we'll have a tent there. Happy to answer any questions that you guys have related to the plan, related to the race, or really anything else triathlon.
Yeah, I would agree. Check out Race Mania. It's race-mania.com. It's a full day event, all kinds of clinics and workshops and presentations. I mentioned the Kristen Lamb session, which I believe is 10:30 to 11:30 that morning. A really great one for anyone that's looking to take a leap to the long course triathlon. I'll include a link to that as well, in the comments after this. I'll also probably just send out to everyone that's registered for the race a link to this on demand. Again, I know some people won't have it, and I'm sure I've already promoted the event to you in email, so I don't want to overdo that, but well, it's coming close, so people don't forget. So I think I haven't seen any questions. Roger, the bike route is posted. So there is the cue sheet and map is posted to the Patriot page of the Sun Multisport website. So that is there now for you to see and download. There's a cue sheet as well. Just searching for any last few questions. Hi, Matt. I haven't even thought about waves as yet. That's something that I'll look at as we get closer to the race. It's one of those things. Somebody's always got to be in the last wave or later wave. So there's always someone unhappy. If I put some of the more senior athletes at the back, there's some that are pretty hot shot racers that want to be up front. And then there's some, anyway, it's a kind of a no-win situation in a way, but you'll just have to wait and see what we come up with. So sorry. All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up.
All right. Thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with us.
Yeah. Thanks again, everybody. So we're going to sign off, and again, we'll do a follow-up with any questions. We'll scroll through these comments. Any questions we missed will get addressed and make this available on demand. And as always, at any time you have questions about the race, you can find me at info@sunmultisportevents.com or mark@sunmultisportevents.com, and you can find Jeff at jeffrey@breakthroughperformancecoaching.com. We are here to help you. We know a lot of people are have chosen Patriot to be their first half iron. That's an honor we take very seriously. We're thrilled that you've done so, and look forward to seeing you come across the finish line with a great big smile on your face. So thanks for signing up for Patriot, for joining us tonight, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks.